You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't kick on the mic. You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't kick on the mic. You can go and subscribe, cause I be on it right. You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't kick on the mic.
The Chicago Bears are once again the betting favorites to sign an all-pro player prior to training camp. Hey, what's going on, Bears fans? Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Keek on the Mic, the podcast all about the Chicago Bears. As always, if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. Bears fans, make sure you also do me a huge favor by also hitting the like button on today's episode of Keek on the Mic. So, Bears fans, happy Friday to every single one of you guys. I hope you guys are all ready for a good, long weekend. As we all know, Ryan Poles and the Chicago Bears are constantly looking to improve their roster. Even if we think as Bears fans that the roster is good, Ryan Poles isn't afraid to add to the Chicago Bears roster, especially if he feels like they can help the Chicago Bears win. This is likely why the sports betting odd makers believe that the Chicago Bears will make a couple of moves to improve their roster prior to training camp in less than 2 weeks. BetOnline recently had the Chicago Bears as the favorites to land all-pro tackle David Bakhtiari, but we all agreed that that wouldn't really be a smart move for the Chicago Bears. Obviously, he's had some injury history. He's not the same player that he used to be for the Green Bay Packers, but it turns out that oddmakers, BetOnline, also has another huge name that the Chicago Bears could possibly land prior to training camp. BetOnline recently gave the Chicago Bears the second best odds to land the former Defensive Player of the Year, and that is cornerback Stephon Gilmore. Bears fans, first and foremost, I need to ask you guys this question. Would you guys want the Chicago Bears to sign Stephon Gilmore to a one-year deal and bring him on to the Chicago Bears defense? Because I definitely do not, because I feel that this makes little sense for the Chicago Bears. Nobody can sit here and dispute about how good Stephon Gilmore has been during his NFL career, but he is about to turn 34 years old in September. He isn't quite the shutdown guy that he once used to be a couple of years ago. Plus, he would be a very expensive one-year rental. When you look at the Chicago Bears roster as it currently stands, the Bears secondary is actually one of the biggest strengths of our football team. You look at our secondary currently, you have Kyler Gordon, one of the better nickel corners in the National Football League. Of course, Jalen Johnson is an all-pro and the cornerback one for the Chicago Bears defense. Tyreek Stevenson had 4 interceptions as a rookie, and I know that Ryan Poles and Matt Eberflus are really excited for year 2 of Tyreek Stevenson. You even have a guy Mike Terrell Smith that showed a ton of promise as the primary backup for the Chicago Bears secondary. So to me, a move for Stephon Gilmore would absolutely be pointless for Ryan Poles and the Chicago Bears. This would make 0 sense. Why spend money on an aging veteran that's about to turn 34 years old? And I guarantee you that on a one-year deal, even at this point in his career, it would cost the Chicago Bears probably around $10 to $12 million on a one-year deal just to bring Stephon Gilmore into Chicago. I don't think he would make that much of a difference. I think you just let your young guys develop. I think Tyreek Stevenson's going to have a really good year 2. You have Terrell Smith, you have Kyler Gordon, and of course, you have Jalen Johnson. Of course, Bears fans, on paper, it sounds nice to have Jalen Johnson on one side and Stephon Gilmore on another. And we were talking about the Stephon Gilmore from 2019. I believe that was the year that he won Defensive Player of the Year. Then, yeah, that would be outstanding. Stephon Gilmore of 2019 and Jalen Johnson coming off a really good year, a career year. Then, yeah, then we're talking. But when you're looking at the state of the Chicago Bears secondary as it currently stands, this is one of the strengths of the roster. Obviously, Ryan Poles did a whole lot of work to revamp this unit. And now, to me, I feel like we have one of the best secondaries, one of the best young secondaries in the National Football League. And I think they are going to take a step up this year within the Chicago Bears defense. But this move would be absolutely unnecessary. Over the last couple of years, Stephon Gilmore has had 6 interceptions, but he is no longer that shutdown corner that he's used to be. Once again, he's still a very good player. Maybe if the Chicago Bears actually had a need at the corner position, maybe you do sign him to a one-year deal. But I think this would just be a waste of money for an aging player that would really do nothing for this roster. Just let Tyreek Stevenson, just let Terrell Smith, Kyler Gordon develop some more. And I'm pretty sure with all those guys, including Jalen Johnson, we have one of the best secondaries in the National Football League. But Bears fans, at the end of the day, it is Ryan Poles' decision. I don't think he makes this move. I think for some reason, these sports betting odd makers believe that since Ryan Poles is usually aggressive prior to training camp and bringing in some extra competition, maybe he thinks he goes out. Maybe we bring in Stephon Gilmore for training camp purposes. But even on that end, it doesn't make any sense because once again, Stephon Gilmore would be a very expensive one-year rental for the Chicago Bears. So overall, Bears fans, I feel like it would be a whole lot smarter and more useful for Ryan Poles to go out and spend some money on either a center and Connor Williams or whatever edge rusher is out there that would make sense for the Chicago Bears football team. But overall, Bears fans, let me ask you guys this one more time. Should the Chicago Bears go out and sign Stephon Gilmore to a one-year deal and bring him on to the Chicago Bears defense and pair him up with Jalen Johnson? Let me know down below what you're thinking in the comment section. But as always, Bears fans, make sure you continue to hit that subscribe button and the notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. Make sure you follow me on all my social media platforms and make sure you share this episode of Geek on the Mic with every single Bears fan that you know. Better than that, be back for an all new Bears podcast right here on Geek on the Mic. Thanks, guys. And as always, bear down.
You've been listening to Geek on the Mic, a podcast all about the Chicago Bears. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. Thanks, guys, and bear down.